In DC, we're just hoping that you listen.
Welcome, everyone, to District Divided, a DC sports podcast. I am Amit, along with my co-host, KDot. KDot, how are you doing today, sir?
I am doing fantastic. It's just outside. It's 97 degrees here in Baltimore. As you can see, I'm in a hoodie because it's cold as fuck in my basement with this cold-ass beer, too. I'm having a great day.
That's how it's done.
Except for the technical difficulties before getting on this podcast.
Oh, you guys have no idea. We may discuss it after the pod, but for the pod, we have a great episode for you guys today. 3 main topics for you. 1, a Terry McLaurin extension update. So we're going to get into that. I'm going to throw a couple hypotheticals at KDot, be like, would you sign him for this amount? We actually had a tweet at District Divided. Please follow us. That did some decent numbers, KDot, where I asked about the AJ Brown deal. Would you give that to Terry McLaurin? So we'll review that. And then we are going to be talking about at some point Dan Snyder not testifying to Congress, but Roger Goodell will be, and he'll be doing it remotely. And so we're going to get into that. And then we're just going to talk about Warren Sapp a little bit. He sort of just popped up out of nowhere. It was super cool to see him at Minicamp, and he spoke to the media a bit about the defensive line and just seemed like a breath of fresh air. So we're going to get into his presence over there. And then we'll jump into the comment mailbag to conclude the episode. But let's begin. Terry McLaurin. So as of right now, he still doesn't have a deal. He's entering the final year of his contract. So what do you do if you're Terry McLaurin? Obviously, you want to sign the long-term deal, but if it's not there, well, he's holding out right now. And so that's the topic of conversation, the main topic of conversation amongst beat writers, media, fans, etc. KDot, what do you make of Terry McLaurin having not signed a long-term deal as of right now?
Well, like every Washington fan should be, you're at least a little scared that it's not going to get done. And I don't think that comes out of nowhere, right? Like, if you pay attention to this franchise, especially over the history of it, we're used to the disappointment. We're used to a lot of times when it comes down to money, it doesn't work out in our favor and people end up walking, or we end up being cheap bastards that undersell, that come out with that in the negotiations, play low ball so goddamn much that it ends up pissing off the player to the point that they don't want to play for us anymore. Now, the only thing that also gives me pause with all of that is the same thing we talked about on this pod before, which is the Jonathan Allen contract extension that happened last year. And then that contract extension didn't happen until what was it, like late July?
Late July. It was the day before training camp began.
So like July 20 something through 30th was when the Jonathan Allen contract came up. And with that, 4-year extension or however long the extension was. And I'd even say, if you look at last year, he outperformed the contract extension already. So, like, if I'm looking at Terry, like, I think that what we're hearing Ron Rivera say, as far as it's a priority, he's not getting traded, we're working on it, gives me hope that something will get done. The more stories you're hearing about it, that they are really going to town with, I think because of the media kind of backlash, that everybody of the fan base may be getting scared, that they're like, you know what, let's just satiate this thing, make it happen. And also make sure that Terry's not missing any time as far as training camp or anything else. Like, he already missed the mandatory minicamp. That's enough. We don't need him to miss any more time. So make it a priority, guys. And I think that right now, this team, when we hear they're making things a priority, regardless of how big or how small, we've got all the reason in the world to be a little skeptical.
Yeah, we've got a lot of reason to be skeptical. And then you look at Brandon Scherff walking, you look at Kirk Cousins walking, you see talent that we have drafted walk, right? And it's frustrating and it's tough. And naturally, that's going to bring some skepticism with it. So one of the questions I had for you, KDot, was, let's say you are, well, you're going to play the role of Commanders fan, and you're also going to play the role of Terry McLaurin. Okay. Mm-hmm. So first question for you is, I'm going to give you a contract offer. And as a fan, you're going to say, yes, I would offer that to Terry. And then as Terry, are you taking it? Okay.
Okay.
So here we go. So the one that went for us viral on Twitter was AJ Brown got traded to the Eagles, and he ends up getting a 4-year, $100 million deal. Okay. With $57 million guaranteed. That's an average annual value, an AAV of $25 million a year. Would you, as a Commanders fan, give that to Terry McLaurin? Yes or no? First question.
Yes.
In a heartbeat. Okay. And about 98, I'm not even kidding, 98% of fans, and those that said no, maybe weren't even fans of the team. 98% of fans said absolutely. So we'll begin with that. If you're Terry, are you taking that?
if I'm Terry, I'm taking it because I think that like if it puts me in the stratosphere of AJ Brown, it puts me top 5 paid receivers. Yeah. Because I mean, even though if I'm looking at the quarterback situation that's been here and I've outperformed all the quarterback talent that is good, it's still this is where I'm at. If you're Terry, you can't think that you're in the upper. You're not Devontae Adams. You're not Tyreek Hill. But the AJ Brown territory, that's a debate. And if that's what he's getting right now in an offseason where, once again, fuck you, Jacksonville Jaguars, where they broke the damn receiver market, which is why I think the only reason Washington has any pause right now. And if you're a receiver and it's looking at 50-something plus guaranteed money, take that shit. Because it probably is not going to be there next year or the year after when the market recorrects after this whole Jaguars debacle.
I will push back on that and say I'm not sure it's going to correct. I think this may actually become a trend because the salary cap, you look at the TV deal, stuff like that, it looks like it's just going to keep going up, which is why it makes a lot of sense to get this done as soon as possible. Because if you wait another year, oh boy.
It might be, still might not, but I actually think the wide receiver position as a whole is, and I don't know when that year is going to come that it happens. I think we're looking at it becoming more of like the running back position. I think that what you're going to see is you're going to have a lot. If you look at the amount of guys that come out, rookies, as second-year players that are performing in the upper echelon of the league, right? Why would you give that much of your salary if you can reproduce? It's the same reason when the Jahan Dotson draft pick came in.
If you can reproduce,
yeah, reproduce. Fucking on the field.
It's important. Go ahead.
Look, goddamn, it threw me all off, but it was my own fault. I would have not let that slide either. Look, if you can produce coming out of college on a rookie deal, and you can find it. When we saw Jahan Dotson got drafted, there was at least a fairly significant contingent of Washington fans that thought, does this mean we're looking at a Terry replacement? And it wasn't that crazy a thought process, right? Because, I mean, look at Terry, look at AJ, look at all these guys that have been so young. The boys in Cincinnati, Justin Jefferson. There's tons of dudes that have come out here and absolutely blown the doors off in the rookie deal. Same way the running back position kind of has. And when you look at that second contract for running backs, everybody's kind of like, well, why the fuck were we going to pay this much for this guy? And you look at across the league as far as the dudes that have done it, Ezekiel Elliott got that cut. The Cowboys look at themselves like we've had to basically get rid of everybody else because of the contract situation we put ourselves.
Right. Now, what I would say, and I'm going to counter with a very recent example in a different sport. If you look at a guy like Andrew Wiggins, right, who was the #1 overall pick, and I think deservedly so. You look at his talent, and when he's in the correct role in Golden State, right, not the #1 option, he shines like amazingly well. Now, Jahan Dotson, it is a risk to me to make the assumption, and maybe we are, right? You could with a first round pick. He's not #1 overall, but a first round pick to go, he could be our #1 guy. To me, the way I see Jahan is I see him more as a really, really good #2. He could end up being a #1, but I'm not sure, which is why I think it is. You look at what Terry's done and it's like, okay, he's clearly got that dog in him. He's clearly he's captain. He's a leader. Yeah. He makes these insane catches. Like, you have to lock this guy up shortly, right? We're on the same page there.
We're on the same page. Don't get me wrong. I'm speaking from Terry's standpoint of signing the fucking deal.
Got it.
So like no, if it's up, I want Terry here. The idea that you're a team captain, your second year in the league, and you're a fucking wide receiver, that speaks to how important you are to a locker room.
Yeah.
Like that's a huge fucking deal. I want Terry here. Yeah, I want them to re-sign Ryan Kerrigan. Like, come on, I want this I want to be able to dust off my jersey again and start rocking it. Like, I don't want to say bye to almost any of the guys we have, especially if we can get them in here at a good deal. And I think Terry, regardless, is going to be a good deal, regardless of whatever it is we got to sign him for.
Fair enough. And so I just want to bring up one point, which is that I don't think Terry takes the AJ Brown deal. The reason he does not take the AJ Brown deal is AJ Brown is 24. So by the time that deal's up, he's 28. Terry at the end of this current deal is 28. So I think he's looking for a bigger payday as a result, and I don't blame him for that. So I don't think he takes it. Now, here's the next, I'm basically just moving up the ladder here.
Yeah.
Here is the next contract I'm going to give you. So Cooper Kupp, who is 28. Okay. We've got ourselves 3 years, $80 million, 75. No way. Guaranteed it's signing. Holy crap. 75 million guaranteed of that 80. Wow.
Rams,
But
baby.
that's Rams. Shout out to their capologist or whomever it is. With an AAV, again, average annual value of 26.7. Are you offering that to Terry?
75 million guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to do anything to keep him locked up because I'm looking at the 75 million guaranteed. That puts him what? Tyreek Hill's at 72 guaranteed. Stephon Diggs at 70.
Yep. So
it would make him tied for number one as far as guaranteed money going to a wide receiver.
You're willing to do it?
I'm willing to do it. I want Terry here.
Okay. I think that's how the entire fan base feels. So Commanders, if any one of you representatives are listening, just get it done. I think it's as simple as that. I would continue going on this list, but it seems like the answer from a Commander's perspective is going to be yes, yes,
Get
yes.
it done.
Just get it done. I will say, I don't think Terry's the type of dude that's like, hey, I need to be the highest paid receiver in the league. I think that's outrageous, honestly. But within the top 5 as of right now, I think it's certainly in play. And I think not only is in play, is what's going to happen. And then you're going to see more receiver deals. I mean, like, I know Jamar is just a rookie right now. Well, now second-year player. But once they get their deals, it's probably going to be like 35, 40 a year. Like, it's going to be insane as the cap just keeps going up.
Inflation,
and stuff like that.
The cap's going up. It's
there you go.
It's a lot of shit. But
it's all connected.
And once again, I have my overall prediction as far as the wide receiver position and the wide receiver market going as far as the future. But with that, as the salary cap slots, I don't know where that line is going to be. I just know I've seen when we were coming up how important running backs were and how big those running back deals got during that time period where like everybody had the bell cow, right? And now it's not that. How many drafts did we go through where there's barely was there a running back drafted in the first round, let's say?
This year, no.
Right. Like, yeah, that's how it's gone. And now we're wide receivers just flying off the fucking shelves.
They're looking to dime a dozen, right? They're all putting out Instagram videos on their footwork and stuff like that. It's insane. Like we saw 6 go in the first round this year, something like that. So I understand your point. I do think those that are elite and separate themselves, like Terry McLaurin.
You think Terry's elite?
Yeah, I do. Look, I mean, again, you look at the quarterbacks he's played with. There's that iconic image of the Browns fan, the woman who has on the back of her shirt all the names of the quarterbacks and they're crossed off. It's the equivalent of what we've had for Terry. Like he has produced insane comparable numbers to an AJ Brown with that list basically of QBs that you can easily cross off. Now he has Carson Wentz. It's so important that the deal gets done so that he gets the reps with Carson. Although it's nice to see Jahan doing a very good job with Carson, but he is totally elite in my opinion. And I think if we were to see him go elsewhere, we would find that out very, very quickly if there were any doubts. And also one more note, I would say if I'm Terry, I'm holding out this year if I don't get a long-term deal because I'm making 2.7 this year.
Absolutely.
And
I'm not suiting up for that.
All I have to do is wait 1 year. And I just did the math on the franchise tag this year. So it'd be 1 year, 27.8 basically. So I'm making 10x by not playing a snap and just waiting. So at the very least, I can make $27 million in 1 year. And I'd certainly make more than that ultimately. So that's what we're staring down if we don't get this done. That being said, I do believe we get this done before training camp. I do think it's going to be a big deal. I do think there are going to be certain people that once the money is doled out, they're like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have done that. I am going to stand firm and be like, yes, it was the right decision. And I think it sounds like you're on the same page there.
I am. I'm actually pushing up my timeline.
Pushing up your timeline.
Yeah, I had it right around the Jonathan Allen deal. I think it gets done a couple weeks before that. I'm looking at like maybe second week of July. I just think that they've made it a priority now. They're not fucking around with it. And I think the last thing they want, especially this offseason that we've been having where it's been nothing but bad news coming out of us, there's an onus to get some good news coming out. And I think Terry being under a long-term deal here in Washington is just the best news we could have this offseason.
I think that's totally fair. I think that is totally fair. Let's switch over to more off the field stuff, which is that the House Congressional Committee on Oversight and Reform had formally requested, it's not a subpoena, but had requested both Roger Goodell, NFL Commissioner, and Dan Snyder, owner of the Commanders, to come forth and testify to that committee and answer some questions, basically. And this was going to take place 10 a.m. on June 22nd. Here's the thing. So Dan Snyder declined. There was a 4-page letter where he declined. And apparently it's a commander's related activity, which is holding him back from overseas, which is holding him back from doing this, there are any number of things that are intriguing about that statement. And Roger Goodell is going remotely, which I do believe if Dan is at a commander's related event overseas, that surely there would be internet access and surely he'd be able to do this. So it's very, very interesting to me. KDot, what was your take on that whole situation there with Roger going, yeah, I'll go, and Dan going, actually, I'm not going to go?
Let me ask you a question before I get into this. What do we want District Divided to be? Do we want passes to training camp? Do we want media passes one day?
Honestly, I just want us to be our authentic selves. I've wrestled with it, and I've been like, maybe we could angle for it and stuff like that, and then we can be no, but that's disingenuous. So disingenuous, if you will. So no, let's do us, and if we get blackballed, so be it. We're just fans.
Dan Snyder's a pussy ass bitch. All right. He knows goddamn well that there's no chance in hell that he should, under any circumstances, for his own benefit, show up to anything the Congress is doing. Because he knows goddamn well he's going to look like a fucking jackass. He's going to look like a predatory, incompetent jackass. Like that, and that's best case scenario. Worst case scenario, he's a sexual predator and deviant, right? So like, yeah, of course he's not going to show up. And then Roger Goodell, you get paid, what, $60 million a year to be the lightning rod for these assholes? Great job, bud. Because Roger Goodell doesn't want Dan Snyder up there fucking talking. There's no one involved in the NFL as far as the brass that want Dan Snyder on Capitol Hill talking. This is like Godfather 2. Like, something might happen in the airport, is what I'm saying. Okay? There's no... Oh they could... Look, Roger Goodell's like, nah, man, no. You take any... No. We want him up there fucking lying his ass off and then getting held again. No. There's nothing good that... Look, do I want to see it? Absolutely. Should Dan Snyder have the balls to go out there and do it regardless because it's his franchise and his team and he needs to stand pat on that? Yes. That's what a man would do. Like a man, that's what an adult, a responsible adult would do. What is he doing? Cowering like a little bitch, running away overseas to do what? What the fuck commander shit do you need to do overseas? Looking at another stadium you're not going to get built? What? We need to check out Wembley one more time to see how it is they do sound? What are you doing? There's nothing you're doing. There's nothing you're doing overseas. They can't be... There's some... Oh, hey, Congress is asking me to speak. You think we can reschedule our little overseas meeting? Congress has asked me to speak. I can imagine the person on the other line, if there is a meeting. Hey, Dan, I heard you got called. We're willing to move it back a week.
Isn't that the point? Like that's the most insane thing to me is like, if Congress called someone to testify, you think no meeting is important enough that they can't move it for that.
It ain't fucking jury duty, asshole. Like it's you're getting asked to be. What the fuck is wrong?
That was literally my first thought. Was like, this is not jury duty. If they're calling you, and they even like in the Washington Post article about this, they talked to other people and attorneys, and they were like, listen, it is so important that you go, even if it's not a subpoena, because you get in front of it, right? It just makes all the sense in the world. At the very least, showing up means you care, it's important, etc. But running, and I guarantee Roger had to have been like, please don't show. Just get out of the fucking country. We'll figure it out. Oh, your passport's expired. Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. Go as somebody else. It doesn't matter. Just nowhere near DC. Which is especially hilarious because the franchise is here. So he literally, it's not like he's flying in. He could.
There's no, I have something. I'm sick or Dan, you're right around the corner. We can send a car for you. Like, yeah. It's not, no, it's bullshit. I'm going to be as far away from home base as possible and away from you guys as possible. And then here's the thing. Roger even looks like an asshole. I mean, we talked about the reason Roger looks like an asshole as far as covering.
That's his job, and he's really good.
And he's great at it, right?
Yeah.
But then on top of that, I thought Dan's not supposed to have any day-to-day operation shit. What the fuck are you overseas?
Right.
Isn't Tanya supposed to be doing that? Or Jason or anybody else in the front office that can do that? I thought Dan's supposed to be hands off. What the fuck are you doing?
Clown Show never left.
Is Epstein Island open again? Or am I getting in trouble for saying that?
It's a district divided, bro. You can do what you want.
Yeah, we get slapped with a lawsuit. Fucking motherfucker had lawsuits with his nanny and shit. He ain't gonna come after us.
Dude. I mean, I just could not believe. Well, actually, I could totally believe what I was reading, but it's really funny that it happened, I suppose. It's just one of those things you have to laugh at. You're like, this is insane. Like, the optics are so bad.
It's funny and also depressing and demoralizing and makes me feel so shitty about this country in so many different ways.
I know.
In which we allow this shit to occur, in which we as fans are still, because even if we hate this guy, and I think most of us do, the fact of going to watch the team that our parents and our parents loved and buying a microwaved 3-day-old grilled hot dog at FedEx just line the pockets of this asshole that's going to hide away from anything responsible. It hurts to know that in any way, shape, or form, I'm contributing to him. We do this show. You're wearing the jersey. I got jerseys back there. We're doing the show that all it does when we get numbers on YouTube, it's advertising the team.
It's true.
So like, that's the thing is like, there's this whole, it's just, you feel shitty about it. And like, everybody sees what's happening. It's plain as day. You're hiding because there is fucking fire beyond all this smoke, sir.
And I think that's why it's important that, while we do this, because first off, we're very passionate about the team and we care a lot about the team. But that's why it's equally important to, when you ask, what do we want District Divided to be? Speak our minds, right? That's why it's so important to not just bend and be like, we'll see. Like, because I used to do that. I'll be like, we'll see what happens. No, call him out. This is bullshit, right? It is absolute bullshit that he can't show up remotely. It almost just feels like a spit in the face to Congress that Roger Goodell is going to show up remotely, right? And not in person, right? While the other guy's overseas at a Commanders related event where he's not supposed to be involved in the day-to-day activities at all, right? So it just seems like one big middle finger to Congress, which is of course depressing and irritating and stuff like that. But June 22nd will be a very interesting day. I am going to be tuning in. I am very interested to hear the questions, to see how Roger Goodell masterfully evades everything, because he will. He's good at what he does. He is really, really good at what he does. So I'm just looking forward to the performance, I suppose. Any final thoughts on this? Oh, you know what? I got one. Sorry to cut you off. Before you could even begin. There's a reason we didn't get the bid for 2026 for the World Cup. So every other NFC East team got it. Philadelphia got it. New York, where their stadium's in New Jersey, so we can't make the argument, well, ours is DC, but it's in Maryland. And then Dallas got it. So we're the only ones. And we had to join our bid with Baltimore, and everyone in DC knew that Baltimore was our best hope because M&T Bank is actually a half decent stadium. We don't have poop water all over the place. We don't have blocks saying, hey, we can't fill up the stadium. We don't have 64% home attendance, which is the lowest ever since Dan Snyder bought the team, not just for our team, across the entire league. That includes the 0-16 Browns. That includes the 0-16 Lions. This is a joke. This is where it all comes from with Dan Snyder.
Mm-hmm. No, look,
total joke.
I still blame Jet Can't Cook for FedEx. But that being said, I can even see someone wanting to work with us if it's somebody other than Dan. Like if they even have, if it was like, hey, World Cup's not until 2026. We have we got years to try to put together a stadium. Maybe it fast tracks the process. I don't know. But what it doesn't do is no one's going to be willing to play ball with this dude. Period. At all. Like, why would you want to?
I think as you get older, you notice that organizations are just, a group of people, right? Mm-hmm. And the person at the top is the person you're ultimately working with. If Dan Snyder were the one that thought of Amazon and tried to execute on it, you think Amazon is what it is today?
Oh, fuck no.
No fucking way. Right?
It's Johnny Rockets. Six Flags America.
No, I actually had Johnny Rockets in Las Vegas when I was there for my buddy's wedding. First off, forgot it was even there. It was fine. It was overpriced.
Well, they had one in Union Station. They had one over in Foggy Bottom.
I don't know if they still have one in Union Station. We're getting off track.
Fuck no, they're all gone. Like, I'm surprised you found one.
I had to get it for nostalgic purposes.
That's fair, but fuck that place and fuck Six Flags. He's ruined the brands.
Fair enough.
No, piece of shit. You ever been to Foxborough?
You know, I haven't, and I've wanted to.
You know, it's 30 miles outside of Boston.
I did not know that.
It's in the middle of fucking nowhere. And they got
but they have like Patriotville or Patriot Land, whatever.
They built up after. Like, last time I went was a long time ago. They went shit out there. But that's the thing, and the traffic's terrible. But you're dealing with Robert Kraft and the Patriots organization, and there's a good vibe. We're willing to deal with it because it just makes sense. Hey, fuck it. It'll be a destination. DC has some of the finest infrastructure. If we're just look, we all got problems with Metro and everything else. But as far as infrastructure to be able to do something like this, Johnny on the spot. And we can't. We just can't do it. Like, we physically can't. We don't have anywhere to do this. And it's a travesty. Why Dan Snyder has ruined this so much that we can't have a stadium in the works in Washington, D.C. Or we can't have a stadium in the works closer to D.C. in Maryland or closer to D.C. in Virginia. Something that works. It's because of him. It's because of his fucking brand. We can't have this shit. Now, look, am I completely all torn up that we're not going to have the World Cup? No, I don't like the traffic. But
fair.
I'm not a soccer fan.
The other side of it. That's the other side of it.
I don't want the traffic. But Dan, you're an asshole and you're a piece of shit for not allowing us, for being one of the biggest issues and blocks to us being in the conversation for it. I probably shouldn't say this, but
here we go.
One of my clients,
is
the establishment that had everybody together from DC waiting for the city.
Oh, the announcement. Okay.
So advertising just a little bit because I knew that there was a good chance we weren't going to get shit. And all the reports, we've been trying to make sure the name of the establishment is not on anything anymore. Because what people say, the air that got deflated out of that fucking room. I found it when the last city got called. What was the last city again? I think it was Houston or some shit, like, or whatever it was.
Yeah, I can't remember. Was it Boston? No, Boston was already announced, I think.
God damn it. Because it was
Miami.
I can't remember.
I saw the video on it too. Yeah.
It was Miami and there was one more. And
New York. New York was the last one announced.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when they announced it, was like, oh. And I'm like, you motherfucker. You piece of shit. You predatory cocksucker.
And Bowser was supposed to give remarks, and I don't think she ever even turned up. She probably knew ahead of time, like, oh, this ain't happening.
Look, I live in Baltimore. I love this city. If Baltimore is the reason between DC and Baltimore, we don't get something, you fucked up. You done goofed. Okay? You done goofed. It's not, I'm sorry. I love this town. I love Baltimore. This should not be the litmus test of whether or not we get something.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be. Baltimore shouldn't be 1A in the conversation between us and DC. It doesn't make any sense.
But that's why the joint bid even happened, is because we knew that they had to be 1A, and that's not I love Baltimore. I love M&T Bank Stadium, by the way.
Great.
I think Baltimore, honestly,
Baltimore's amazing.
I see no reason why Baltimore should have even attached DC to the name. I wonder if Baltimore
they might have had a better chance.
That's what I'm saying. I think Baltimore maybe has a better chance if they just don't even touch DC and they go Baltimore is over here and we're interested. Because what part of DC is a part of that bid? What did we contribute to the bid other than a name where an insurrection nearly occurred, where we have a terrible owner, the only major pro sports franchise in DC that's not in DC. Caps play here, Wizards play here, Nationals play here. I mean, and that's just men's sports. I mean, you look at anyway, the Mystics and Spirit also play here. Like, everyone plays here. So it's incredibly frustrating. But let's move on, KDot, because we could go on this forever, to a breath of fresh air. That was Warren Sapp, who seemed to just pop up out of nowhere all of a sudden for minicamp, where we were like, oh, Warren Sapp's here. Oh, he's wearing a Commander shirt. Oh, he's hyping up this defensive line. I mean, he loves Chase Young. He had a video where he talked about Chase and Montez Sweat, and he referenced the lone wolf dies, and I want him to be like a pack of wolves. And then I think back to the name. We could have been it was right there. It was right there. But Warren Sapp,
you would totally get that.
Warren Sapp was awesome, and he got me hype as hell for this defense. So what did you make of Warren Sapp being here? And as it turns out, invited by GM Martin Mayhew, former team. That was the connection. Yeah. What did you make of him being here, and what did you make of his presence?
I think he's got more connection to Bruce Allen, though. But that's probably problematic to say.
You're on a roll today, sir. You're on a roll today.
Look, Warren's been that dude. I remember the big deal for me as a kid when NFL Network first got announced, and it was like only on DirecTV. And I begged my parents for us to switch our cable provider to DirecTV. So I needed me some NFL Network. You're talking about the good old days, like Rich Eisen, Rod Woodson, what's that motherfucking name? Lincoln Kennedy, I think it was, and Warren was always around in the periphery, kind of doing shit. He's just fun. And the dude could play football. He was terrifying on the defense. Not just because of his play, but what he would do to inspire everybody around him to just go out there and attack. He's always a dude from a football perspective. I want around my team at any given point in time. From a football perspective, I do know that there's some stuff off the field with Warren.
Yeah,
I'm not as well versed in what happened. I'll take responsibility. I should be.
Yeah,
I should be. If we're talking about him, I should be. I apologize. I'm not that well versed, and especially knowing the ties between what I understand briefly in the periphery is his issues compared to what it is that Washington's kind of going through as far as the organization in the front office might not be the best look. But if we're looking at just what it is as far as the field and what it is as far as the guys that we need to perform and what it is they can learn from on the field, Warren is invaluable. Like he's incredible as far as what it is that he does and the way that when you hear him every once in a while break down games, and especially break down defense, break down the defensive line and what guys need to do and gap discipline and all this kind of stuff. The dude knows his shit. Now, I know he likes to spend most of his time nowadays just deep sea fishing, whatever the fuck it is he's doing, which understand you live in Florida, do your fucking thing. But it was awesome to see. I love that energy, and it's the energy that I want to kind of see from when I saw Daron Payne on the sidelines last year in that dust up. Daron's probably our like most high-low emotional guy, right? If I'm looking at it. Jonathan Allen seems to be a constant. He's rah, but he's a constant like that leader in that way. Whereas I think Daron Payne and Montez Sweat and Chase are much more of those like we got to kind of feel that groove sort of thing. And I think Warren Sapp, if a little bit of that rubs off on those guys and they start having fun, it's a problem.
Yeah. When he was talking about, setting up a kitchen in the living room and penetration.
Nobody wants the kitchen in the living room.
Nobody wants that. And it was so, although that's what I got over here. That's why it's blurred. But here's what I'll say. If he vibes with those guys, right? The ability to relate to somebody is so important. And then you add the pedigree of player he was on the field, right? Yep. Having that ring, playing with other monsters. I mean, I'll just name Simeon Rice, for example, and the Derek Brooks behind them. Like, he knows what it takes. So it's very encouraging to see him bring it up and go, yeah, by the way, these guys are animals. What do you call them? Bowling balls with butcher knives on them? Like, he loves these guys. It was incredible. I didn't even know. He could have said anything. And I'm like, yeah,
that's how he goes.
Go.
Yeah,
that's how he goys. The energy's infectious.
He made no sense.
Loved it.
Most of the time, he made no goddamn sense.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing. He feeds off the energy.
Yeah. Anyway, I hope to see more of him. Maybe he's hired in a part-time role or something like that. It would be awesome to have Warren Sapp continue to be around these group of guys because I think it could be nothing but a good thing, honestly. To me, it could be nothing but a good thing. We're going to transition over to the comment mailbag real quick. So beginning with last week, Tony P56. Hey, Tony, shout out again. Thank you as always for commenting, for always watching. Love you, Tony. And he loves the show. That is literally the comment. Love the show. Thank you very much, Tony. Appreciate it. You're about to get a like on that. And then we've got PRM, who is a subscriber. So shout out PRM. Thank you very much. Bit of a longer comment, but a very valid one. So this was on the Jack Del Rio episode. And he goes, or she, I've been a Washington fan since 1993. Jack Del Rio says, let's have a discussion. People like him don't want to have a discussion. He made up his mind a long, long time ago, and ain't nothing going to change it. This is a man who has played a sport, is a majority 70% Black most of his life, and at his advanced age now, he still holds these views. He's white, he's rich. I say rich, and this is in parentheses, I say rich as he doesn't need to work another day the rest of his life. That's rich. That's how he's defining rich here. Fair. Right. So he doesn't need to change his way of thinking at this stage of his life. This is just who he is. And no matter what he says, it'll affect how he sees and treats people. So it does matter what he's saying, and he should go. Okay, so he was on the side of he should no longer be coordinator. I don't know if this was written just before Rivera announced the fine or after.
I think it's right before, because we had just recorded the day before the fine and everything that happened. Yeah,
continuing. And there's a little bit left. This is why nothing will change in America. You're too used to looking the other way. I want to win games too. Trust me. But to say, I don't care what he thinks, I just want him to make our team great again. See what I did there? I could go on, but I won't. But we'll leave you with the link below to give you an idea of our man, Jack. And it is a pretty damning video. PRM, once again, shout out. And thank you so much for the comment. Really appreciate it. 100% right. I think we discussed it in length last season. And it's encouraging to see someone sort of echo the sentiment as well. Of course, we would have opened feedback the other way too. But the video he did send, I did watch, and
I did too.
Not great. Not great.
No, but Jack's been problematic. And I just want to clarify some of PRM.
Sure.
I might have said something along the lines of, I don't really give a shit what he thinks as long as he can do X, Y, and Z as on the football field. And I understand that that's a controversial thing to say. I get with Jack Del Rio, there's been a little more than most as far as these are just my beliefs or whatever. My thought is that I'm not forcing anybody to like me that doesn't like me, and I don't give two shits if they do or not. What I want to know is, are you impacting my life, my livelihood, and the livelihoods of those guys that are under his command and the commanders? The moment that I start seeing, or you hear from the guys in the locker room that, hey, we understand what he's feeling, and now it's seeping into what it is he's doing in the day-to-day, is when you cut that shit to the quick. But I will always have a little bit in me that is more okay than not when people actually show me their true colors. And I'm not going to relent on that. And I think what Ron Rivera did in that $100,000 fine, where the money's going for the fine, the fact that Ron Rivera did not shy away from any part of Jack Del Rio's statement, I thought was amazing. It was amazingly done. It was actually more than we were critical of Ron when we did this segment last week.
Yes.
I was extremely critical of Ron in the sense of like, this is going to, what you do with this is going to be a huge marker of like what you're setting as far as the expectation. And he nipped that shit in the butt. And Jack Del Rio is no longer on Twitter. And I think we all win.
I think that's fair. I think that's an honest and fair assessment. And I also think, KDot, that whenever you speak, again, I speak to the authenticity of the show, the authenticity of the two of us. And that is something I will always appreciate. And for that reason, always have your back, even if we ever disagree on something. And I don't think we did there, but even if we ever disagree on something, I'll be sure to call you out on it, just as you'd be calling me out on it too. And so you can continue to know, everyone, that that's the standard we would hold ourselves to here as well. So PRM, once again, thank you very much for the comment. Tony P, thanks as always for the comment. I'm glad that you're always showing love. Really appreciate it. This, everyone, was District Divided DC Sports Podcast. KDot, looks like you have one more thing you want to say.
Yeah, just for the record, fuck Jack Del Rio.
But yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. And so this is a DC Sports Podcast, District Divided. Thank you guys so much for listening. We always post Fridays, 2 p.m. And we will see you guys next week. Oh, next week, real quick. Ref the District, for those of you that watch Ref the District as well, they're going to be with us. And so they're going to be, I think, if everything goes well, all 5 of us talking about the Commanders, maybe some other stuff, but very excited to have.
Do they care about media passes?
Nathan, they do. So we need to be careful. Okay. Based on what I've seen, we may need to tone it down for that one.
Be silenced.
We'll talk to them about it, but we'll have them next week, and we're very excited to have them.
Quick news story that just broke.
Go for it.
Ron Rivera was fined $100,000 by the NFL for contact in practices.
Yep.
So looks like that Jack Del Rio money is getting diverted. No, I'm joking.
So now our head coach and defensive coordinator both fined $100K. We also lost 2 organized team activities, OTAs, for next year. So, you know, on the plus side, if someone's holding out, that's 2 less days we have to wonder if they would have shown up to OTAs. So that's the way I'm seeing it these days, because that's the way this organization rolls. Once again, thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next time. Take it easy. What an episode. That was a blast.
That was fun.
That was a lot of fun. Did you see the Pat McAfee show at all this week?
I think I've seen a couple clips, but I can't even recall what they are. I know I always watch at least a couple clips.
So I want to very quickly shout out my buddy Devin Jett, old coworker of mine. He called in and got on the show.
Oh shit.
Yeah. That was June 15th near the end. And he actually stayed on the phone for a solid 10 minutes. And he probably got a total of like 40 words in. So Pat and the boys were just riffing around, and I think like actively trying to not get to him. And he's like, no, I'm getting this question in. I'm getting this question in. And it was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. At one point, he had started off with a little rhyme and he was getting ready to ask his question. And then Pat and the boys started riffing for like 5 minutes. And then out of nowhere, Devin goes, "Hey, they're burying me in the chat here, boys." It's just out of nowhere. I absolutely loved it. I thought he fit right into the show. It was super
awesome.
Cool.
That's fucking dope. That's really, really dope.
Yeah. Always a good time watching that show.
No, it's all. I do need to watch more, Pat, but I'm so busy. I'm sorry. I am distracted. The article about Ron Rivera.
Oh, what does it say?
No, it's just he's wearing the ugliest fucking tie-dye shirt.
Spit that out.
So orange is my favorite color, and this is some bullshit. I can't stand what he's wearing.
Maybe I'll post it at the very end. Just add that to the editing.
That's just
that photo. Wait, can you turn your screen? Are you capable of turning your screen?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. That's fine. Oh, I can see. It looks like he's repping the Bears.
I guess it's some sort of Wear Orange initiative. So I'm sure. Yeah, you can't really make it out.
Wear Orange initiative.
Look, it might be for cancer awareness or something. So I'm gonna feel like a giant asshole. But you can see true. Orange is my favorite fucking color. I just don't. I'm keep looking at it. He's doing the.
I thought you were part of the initiative.
You got to know what the initiative is.
Do you? Some people do stuff all the time and they have no clue what they're talking about.
That's fair. We are talking about the NFL and shit. None of these motherfuckers know anything.
It's not like we know either. We're just speculating.
That's fair. And we're not much better.
That's all we do.
I just type. I don't know why I'm using fucking Twitter as a Google search bar. I just said Wear Orange NFL. And
oh yeah, that'll do. But once again, we are terrific at Googling, as we've mentioned on a different.
I am better at Googling than what it is this show is showing me as being.
Lights are on.
Yeah,
Lights are on. Pressure's on.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm cracking under pressure a little bit. My Googling skills.
Oh, dude, no. You have to. So, what happened with the technical problems? Because you tried for like half an hour to just.
So I came home. I had to run out for a little bit, and I came back. I mean, I had to drive like. But I came back in and I'm setting up all the cameras and the lights and shit. Yeah. And the first thing I did, so like I have a setup and it's just like on the couch, we got the TV down here in the basement.
Yeah.
When I'm done with the pod and I don't have like another pod for a couple of days, I just kind of shift my tables and all that over to the corner of the room where my laptop and everything just left on it. Cause I don't really use my laptop. I just use my iPad.
Setting up. Yeah.
The first thing I did was hit power on my laptop.
It's a good first step.
Thing I did.
That's a good first step.
I'm like, I'm gonna let that boot up. Well, I'm getting everything else kind of worked out. So I'm getting everything worked up, and I'm noticing I'm hitting enter Windows, and it's the login screen just won't come. So I'm like, it's figuring itself out. So I'm gonna kind of do my thing. And then the motherfucker wouldn't let me log in. Then when it finally logged in, everything was frozen. Zoom was frozen. My OBS studio was frozen. OBS started working. Then I had to Control-Alt-Delete, bring up Task Manager. It was a whole show. And now apparently I do think I understand what happened.
What happened?
It was running some sort of malware scan or some shit. So it ate up all my CPU power. So I think when I had OBS up, and OBS uses a fair amount of power, I just need a new laptop. Like I need to, the thing is like, I'm not a cheap person. I just hate laptops. I hate computers.
Well, once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we can look to use the ad money to get you a new one over time. It might take a few years.
No, Ryan actually from the ASOS podcast gave me this laptop.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was he's a lawyer, he's actually my lawyer. And he
nice. Shout out Ryan.
It's great having a lawyer and retainer. It just feels good.
I bet.
It just feels good. Just I call my lawyer. Be able to actually mean the shit. No public defender for this guy. They had like a bunch of computers, so he gave me this, and it's like it's a legit looking ThinkPad.
Yeah.
But it's just, to me, all these programs and all the updates, they just eat up more fucking CPU. So you constantly need to upgrade. I use my iPad barely. This motherfucker is what I get 99.9% of everything done on. Until I need an Excel spreadsheet that is too much to fucking bear, and then I go to my iPad. But this, all my graphic design work, all the intro art or the cover art for all the YouTube, all on my phone.
That's amazing, man. Oh yeah, for those that don't know, there was one week where KDot makes all the like all visuals you see, all thumbnails, stuff like that. That's KDot. I tried one time. It took me about 5 hours, and I was pretty proud of it. And KDot, I sent it to him, and I was like, "Check this out. What do you think?" And KDot goes, "Looks good. You want to try using this one instead?" Literally made it in 30 seconds, 10x better than mine. I was still proud of mine, but I was like, "My God, how long did that take you?" 30 seconds, right? Yeah. And KDot just goes, "Yeah."
All I need is the name of the people. Like, if we have the name of the people, I have. So that's the thing, is like I use enough. There's no one app that does everything I need to do. Mm-hmm. All right. So I was like, Photoshop when this is fucking sucks. Photoshop when this sucks, but it's better than this because they don't even have a real Photoshop for this. Yeah. But like, I could do a lot of things in Photoshop, but it would take longer than some of these. Look, a lot of people are into social media. A lot of people need fucking little clever bullshit that they're doing. Everybody has their own YouTube channel. Everybody fucking has a podcast, but no different than all the rest of them. They have a bunch of apps that'll easily do a bunch of things you want. And if you just pick the right, like 2 or 3 and know, all right, I got to hop in this one to do this, hop in that one to do this, hop in that one to do this. Easy peasy.
Yeah. All right.
I'm not going to give them any advertising.
All I'm saying is thank goodness for you, because I can't, I cannot do this stuff. I've tried it. I run the Twitter account though. I've got that going for me, but yeah,
that's about better about Twitter. Twitter and Facebook. I do such a shit job of it.
Twitter is a hard game. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's constantly work. And look, there's a difference between, I'm gonna get in trouble for this. He's never gonna see it. So I'm all right. The ASOS podcast. I don't think there's another human being that tweets more than James on the ASOS podcast through our ASOS thing.
Yeah.
It's just he's tweeting shit that nobody cares about. So it's not. So it's like
I think he's had a couple good tweets that have actually gotten like a lot of interaction.
Absolutely.
And, stuff like that.
And I'm like, if that's why I keep telling him plug away. But I've also told him, look at what Amit's doing. So like, because we all divvy up. So like I do all the editing for ASOS. I do all the visuals and shit for ASOS. And his piece is he's gonna take care of the social media thing. Yeah. It's just I think he could learn a thing from you as far as the social media thing.
I could learn a thing from a lot of people though, because we're at what I think 520 or something like that. It's hard.
It's extremely hard to do. Like that's the one I don't even try as far as my Twitter. I've had a couple tweets that done well, little Photoshop things here and there, but beyond that, it's not. Instagram is my bread and butter, and Instagram's starting to piss me off.
Yeah. Oh, it seems like they've got some problems. In fact, Twitter's talking about the Instagram problems right now. They're like, listen, it seems like, and assuming you don't have the app update, I suppose, that when you watch someone's story, or we're running up on a hard stop here, but if you watch someone's story and then they update it, apparently it starts all over from the beginning for some people. And they're like, well, I don't want to keep rewatching like all the different bits of the story. I just want it to continue from where it was before.
Yeah, and I'm a huge story guy.
Huge story guy. I feel like Instagram, anyone that's on Instagram is a huge story person, right? That seems to be one of the first things I'll do if I ever, and I'm never on Instagram, but if I ever am, I'm like, who are the top 3? And I'll watch the top 3 and then I just move on with my day. Simple as that. So I get it.
I mean, I've gotten all my followers on Instagram, and I think I'm at 10 or 12,000. I can remember.
Yeah, you're doing great.
My story has been the bread and butter. I mean, I only have 8 posts. I literally only have 8 posts, but a couple of the videos have like tens of thousands of views, and then beyond that, everything story-wise. I like the idea of shit just going poof. I don't want, but Snapchat feels still too pedophilic. Like it just feels like you're trying to get away with shit that you shouldn't be trying to get away with. Well, hold on.
What was the dude's name? Was it not Chris D'Amelio? Oh gosh, I've forgotten his name. I remember there was he's a comedian.
Chris D'Elia.
Yeah, him. I remember that there was, I think he got into some hot water for something related to that. And they had a clip where they were like, oh, this must have been the moment he found out, where people said you could save stories, and his eyes like widened. He's like, uh-oh.
But it notified you, or you could just use another device to record what you're seeing on the other.
Yeah,
device,
it seemed like news to him, and then just moments later, he got into some hot water.
So fucking stupid. But yeah, Snapchat always felt sketchy. It always felt sketchy to me. But Instagram, the idea, like Michael Shea from SNL, he runs his Instagram the way that I'd want to run my Instagram, which is if you see me post anything, I'm deleted after a day.
Sure.
Like the only things I have on my postings are like things that I think are just really important to have. But it's barely any me. I don't. And anytime anybody tags me in anything, I remove the tag. You'll not see anything in mine. Me tagging anything.
Okay. Well, anyway, I gotta.
Yeah, we gotta go.
Yeah, I gotta go real quick. But I really want to talk more about the Wizards too. We got to do an episode at some point. But the draft's right around the corner. Yes or no?
We get the other district divided guys to do some non-commander shit.
Yeah, what the fuck are they doing? Real quick, yes or no? Do we trade up with the Sacramento Kings to pick 4?
No.
I don't think so either. It'd be exciting though. It would be movement in some direction. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway, take it easy, everyone. And KDot, love you, bro. Talk to you later.
All right, brother.
Peace.